It's September 1630 and you're a plague nurse in Florence. You're 27. 3 months ago, you were a silk worker's widow trying to stretch your savings through another summer. Now you work in a Lazaretto, a converted convent on the edge of the city where the Sanità sends people when the plague finds them. The pay is better than anything else you could get. The risk is everything. The shift starts before dawn. You arrive through the dirty gate, the only entrance for staff, and a guard with a sword checks your Fede Sanità, the small lead token stamped with 3 officials' seals. He turns it over once in his palm, nods without meeting your eyes, and waves you through. The chain rattles as he locks the gate behind you. The courtyard smells of smoke and wet ash. Someone is already burning yesterday's straw bedding in a pit near the outer wall, and the gray haze drifts low, settling in your throat. You cross to the well, pull up the bucket, and wash your hands and face in the cold water. Then you rinse your mouth with rose vinegar from the communal jar. It tastes like copper and flowers gone bad, and it coats your tongue for the next hour.
The apron goes on first. Heavy leather that pulls on your shoulders when you move. Then the oilcloth robe that's supposed to keep the contagion off your clothes. It doesn't breathe. Your back sweats the moment you tie it, then chills when you step away from the brazier. You tie a pomander to your belt, a small cloth bag stuffed with rue, cloves, and a sliver of ambergris that cost you 2 days' wages. It bumps your hip as you walk. When someone coughs nearby, you squeeze it without thinking.
High chapel windows filter dawn's weak gold onto blackened buboes and sweat-sheened faces. A child's wail pierces from the corner. Nuns hush with murmured aves as mule carts clatter outside, unloading firewood that sparks fresh smoke. Your pomander's sharp rue cuts the rot, but not the dread. The ward is a long hall that used to be a chapel. The altar is still there at the far end, stripped bare except for a wooden cross. The space in front is now lined with straw pallets, arranged in 2 rows with a narrow aisle down the center. Light comes in through high windows, thin bands that catch only the edges of faces and the rim of a bowl. Everything else stays in brown-gold dimness. 42 patients this morning. You counted yesterday. 3 of those pallets are empty now, the straw already removed, and the spaces swept with lime powder. A nun, Sister Margarita from the conservatory that used to run this building, is already moving between the rows with a wooden spoon and a pewter bowl of barley gruel. She scrapes it off before spooning it into mouths. The sound of wood on metal rings softly down the aisle. She nods to you. You nod back. There's a priest in the corner murmuring the Ave Maria over a man who's barely breathing. The bells from San Lorenzo toll in the distance, marking the hour. Your first task is the same as always. Check the living, note the dead, change what needs changing. You start at the near end. A young man, maybe 20, is awake and lucid. His bubo under his jaw has burst overnight, leaking onto the straw. That's a good sign. His shift clings translucent to his skin, yellowing the straw beneath. You peel it free with vinegar-damp fingers, the metallic tang overwhelming the sweet decay underneath. You help him sit up, give him water from the clay jug. The rim is chipped and he has to tilt his head carefully, and tell him the physician will come by the window at midday to check him. Nearby, a man with calloused hands, a weaver, you think, clutches a rosary, knuckles white as bone. He asks about his daughters. You murmur, prayed for, avoiding his eyes, which are hollowed by fever and fear. 2 rows over, an older woman is delirious, pulling at her shift and crying for her daughter. You wipe her face with a vinegar cloth, hold her wrists gently until she stops thrashing, and tuck the thin blanket back around her shoulders. She'll be dead by evening. You've seen it enough times to know. The heat builds. September in Florence is still warm, and the hall has small windows set high in the walls that don't let in much air. The smoke from the braziers, burning juniper and rosemary to fumigate the space, makes your eyes water. Sweat runs down your back under the oilcloth. You wipe your eyes with the back of your wrist, careful not to touch your face with your hands. The physician arrives just after the bells ring noon. He doesn't come inside. He stands at the barred window that opens onto the courtyard and calls out instructions. Grill bars cast cage shadows across his powdered wig. You and Sister Margarita bring patients close enough for him to see, lifting them toward the grill like showing goods at a market stall. Too close, too exposed, while the physician stays back. He examines 3 patients through the grill. One, a man with a bubo on his thigh, is ordered to be bled by the barber surgeon who will come this afternoon. Another is prescribed a purge, a mix of aloe and rhubarb that you'll have to coax down his throat later. The third, a woman with blackened fingers and shallow breathing, he simply marks in his ledger and says nothing. You understand what that means. After the physician leaves, there's a commotion near the gate. A family has arrived, 2 women and an older man, demanding to see their son, who was brought in 4 days ago. The guards block them. One of the women is screaming, crying, saying they have money. They can pay. Just let them see him for a moment. You know the boy they're talking about. He died yesterday morning. The guards don't let them in. The Sanità's rules are clear. No entry, no exceptions, no contamination. The family is told to go home, to wait for the official notice, to pray. You hear the older man shouting as they're led away. Inside the ward, no one speaks. Sister Margarita crosses herself. You keep moving. The barber surgeon arrives mid-afternoon. He's a thin man with a patchy beard and hands that shake slightly when he works. He lances the bubo on the man's thigh with a small blade. Pus arcs into the basin, and the man screams, raw and animal. You hold his shoulders, bracing your weight, nails biting through the linen of his shift. The barber surgeon packs the wound with a paste made from scorpion oil and crushed herbs. By late afternoon, you're emptying chamber pots into the lime pit outside the hall. The pots slosh warm with filth, urine mixed with blood, and you heft them carefully to the edge. Lime clouds erupt when you dump them, coating your tongue with chalk, making your eyes stream. It's one of the worst tasks, but it's also one of the few times you get fresh air. The pit is deep, layered with lime and ash to cover yesterday's waste. A rat darts from the edge and vanishes into the straw piled near the cart. The cart is waiting near the far wall, already loaded with 2 bodies wrapped in cheap linen. One bundle is marked with coal. Unknown number 47. They're starting to swell faintly in the afternoon heat. Flies buzz thick despite the smoke. The Misericordia confraternity will come at dusk to take them to the mass grave outside the city walls. The light is fading when you finally sit down. There's a small room off the main hall where the staff can rest for a few minutes between tasks. Just a bench, a table with a cheap nail driven crooked into one leg, and a jug of watered wine. You pour yourself a cup. The glug of the liquid echoes in the dim alcove. The wine bites your throat, dry as old bread. The cheese is rationed to a fist-sized piece, and it crumbles gritty in your mouth. Sister Margarita joins you. Her face is lined like cracked leather from months of this, endless wiping, endless prayers. She's older, maybe 50, and she's been doing this longer than you have. She doesn't talk much, but tonight she tells you that 2 more nurses didn't show up for the evening shift. One sent word that she was sick. The other just didn't come. The Sanità is struggling to find replacements. The pay is good, but 40 to 60% of the staff die, and everyone knows it. You think about your own odds. You've been here 12 weeks. Some nurses last longer. Some die in the first month. There's no pattern to it, no logic. You wash with vinegar, you wear the pomander, you pray before every shift. It's all you can do. The evening tasks are quieter. You move through the rows again, checking pulses, adjusting blankets, whispering small comforts to those who are still conscious. A Capuchin friar arrives to hear confessions and give last rites. His rosary is worn smooth at the beads. He works quickly, moving from pallet to pallet with the rhythmic murmur of Latin and a small vial of holy oil. By the time he finishes, 3 more patients have died. You help Sister Margarita prepare the bodies. It's not complicated. Wrap them in whatever linen is available. Tie the ends. Linen whispers as you shroud the 3rd dead today, a girl no older than 12. The bodies go into the courtyard added to the cart. The Misericordia will record the count and report it to the Sanità. By November, they'll be processing over 2,000 dead from the Lazaretti every day. Right now, in September, it's only a few hundred. Only. Before you leave for the night, you help boil a batch of linen in a large vat of vinegar and water set over a fire in the courtyard. The steam rises in thick clouds, smelling sharp and acidic, and it burns your eyes again. You stir the cloth with a long wooden paddle, then pull it out piece by piece to hang on a line stretched between 2 posts. It will dry overnight and be used again tomorrow. The guard at the gate checks your Fede again on the way out. You step through into the street, and the shadows swallow you. Your walk home is through streets that are emptier than they used to be. Empty markets echo with the distant clop of hooves. Church bells mourn with lone tolls. Dog packs snarl somewhere in the distance. A lone candle flickers behind a barred window. Your room is small. A bed, a table, a single chair. You strip off the apron and robe and leave them by the door. Your hands are still stained with vinegar and worse, so you wash them again in the basin, scrubbing until the skin is pink and tight. You eat bread and a piece of hard cheese, drink more watered wine, and sit by the small window that looks out onto the narrow street below. Bed straw pricks through your shift when you finally lie down. Your hands throb raw red. Coughs echo from a neighbor's quarantine hovel, closer than you want to admit. Fever dreams replay in your mind, buboes bursting, screams layering like smoke. It's quiet tonight otherwise. No carts, no bells, no shouting. In the quiet, you can hear the basin water settle after you set it down. You think about the woman with the bubo under her arm, the one who hasn't woken in 2 days. You think about the boy whose family came to the gate. You think about Sister Margarita, who has been doing this for months without complaint, and the 2 nurses who didn't come back. You think about tomorrow. The shift starts before dawn. You'll wash with vinegar, tie on the pomander, check the living, note the dead. The physician will come to the window. The barber surgeon will lance another bubo. The Capuchin will hear confessions. The bodies will go into the cart. And the day after that will be the same. You blow out the candle and lie down. The room is dark except for the faint glow of moonlight through the window. Somewhere in the distance, a dog barks. Somewhere closer, someone coughs. You close your eyes. The plague doesn't care about hope or effort or how carefully you wash. But you'll go back anyway. Because someone has to hold the wrists of the delirious. Someone has to wipe the foreheads of the dying. Someone has to stand between the chaos and the people who are still fighting to live even when the fight is already lost. You're 27. You're a plague nurse in Florence. And tomorrow, you'll do it all again.